Hey YouTube, welcome to the Off Grid Mountain Homestead. Got a winter project. Gonna call this the free heat project. So got a Chinese diesel heater, or they call them a diesel air heater, whichever. This is a 5 kW model. These things have dropped in price. Been wanting one for a while, so finally got a diesel heater. And other parts of the project, well, I'm calling it the free heat project. Gonna run it on this. Well, not technically this. It takes some modification, but I'll explain that here in just a minute. I'm going to use a lithium iron phosphate battery. Got a spare solar charge controller, just stuff out of the parts bin. I don't know if I'm going to use this battery or this battery yet. So, yeah, we'll decide on that as the project continues, but I've been playing around with both of these, and possibly that one, maybe this one, I don't know. As the project evolves, I'll select the battery. Might even use both of them in there, I don't know. But yeah, got all this and a set of 100 watt folding panels complete with dog footprints. These have been out in the weather, I don't know, 6 months now, 8 months. You know, they're not supposed to be in the weather all the time, but you can see the fading on them. They used to be a black color, it's faded out, but hey, they're still making 105, 106 watts. The weather's not affected them. So I'm going to be using that too with this project. I'm just pulling all kind of stuff out of the parts bin to get some free heat. You might be asking why I'm messing with a diesel heater. Thought I already had free heat. Well, I do. But why not? Well, number one, it's fun. Channel your inner Mad Max. You know, get spare parts and stuff that you got laying around and make something out of it, which is always a blast, right? And number two, I have gallons and gallons of vegetable oil and access to gallons and gallons and gallons more. Basically an endless supply, you know, if I need it. And I've got a bunch of diesel fuel I've recovered out of people's oil furnaces and stuff like that, oil tanks. So, you know, even better reason, free fuel. Of course, nothing in this world is free. You're gonna have some capital expenditures. The only way to get free heat is to go out in the woods and pick up some sticks. Even firewood's not free. You gotta buy chainsaws, wood stoves, have a fireplace, or axes. So no such thing as free heat unless you're burning sticks and you made a fire pit out of rocks in the woods. So that's not very efficient or fun. So yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of capital expenditure. And if you don't have stuff laying around, you know, you have to get the DC power supply. If you're on grid power, you can power this with a 12 volt DC power supply. Or if you want to do it on batteries and solar, I mean, you can get these controllers dirt cheap. Batteries are as cheap as they've ever been. Panels are cheap. So yeah, and then as far as the fuel, you can't run this vegetable oil straight into these heaters. Why? Well, this has triglycerides in it. So when you run this oil at a high temp, like it's in this heat exchanger, the glycerin will coke up. It breaks it down. The glycerins will stick and coke up in this heat exchanger. So what you have to do is convert this to biodiesel, split the glycerin out from the fatty acid methyl esters, which will be your B100 biodiesel. You won't have all that glycerin and gunk to coke up inside the heat exchanger. So it takes a little conversion. I made my first batch of biodiesel back in 07. Used to run it in all my diesel vehicles. Had a little 30-gallon reactor. Would run, you know, I was in a big kick on diesel powered equipment and generators and trucks and whatnot. So I ran on a bunch of stuff on biodiesel back in the day. But I'll show you how to make small batches. It's real easy. I mean, it's, you know, it's not as good if you had to set up full reactor, set up biodiesel system, but we'll show you how to make a batch good enough to run in one of these or your lawnmower, stuff like that. The beta test plan is to cut in a couple of ducts in the crawl space here and duct the discharge air from the heater in, and then, you know, return air back into the heater, build a little concrete board doghouse, you know, away from the living structure a few feet, insulated duct, things like that. Don't matter if I lose a little bit of heat because, you know, the fuel cost is basically free. So yeah, just you know, a little bit of assortment of stuff laying around to get some free heat. Cool little project, you know. Hope y'all like it. You know, if you're interested in this kind of thing, please hit that like button. Please let me know in the comments if there's something you'd want to see more of. If there's not a lot of interest, I would just, You know, I won't put anything on there, but if people like it, of course, I'll film every step of the way. So just let me know. And if you're not subscribed and you do want to see this stuff, you know, please let me know in the comments that you want to see it. And, you know, if you don't mind, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That really helps the channel out, gets these videos out further on YouTube. And much obliged to everybody that hits that like button and watches my videos all the time. Much appreciated. Thank you so much to all my viewers. But anyhow, that's the overview of the project. And, yeah, you'll see some more on it pretty soon. So thanks for watching the Off Grid Mountain Homestead. Hope you have a nice day.